rahmatullah. That is Luna back there scratching up my furniture. Luna, let's not scratch up the furniture. Come say hello to the camera. Alrighty. So me and Luna are back, Qur'an girl here. We are going to be talking today about we did iltiqa sakina. We're going to be talking about Alaqaat Al Huroof. This is basically rules, and there are 4 of them. We'll do 2 today, inshallah, when the letters come next to each other and when they meet. So what kind of rules would we need for that, right? So here are some examples of rules we would need when, okay, Luna is coming on top of my chair, and I think she wants to learn as well. She really, really likes this Tajweed class, don't you, Luna? Yep, she does. Okay, I think we can take the spotlight off of Luna now, and we can go back to studying. So Alaqaat Al Huroof is basically rules that we apply when letters come together, and how to pronounce them. So we've gone through many different ones, you know, idgham, idhar, ikhfa, so many different ones that we've talked about. We've talked about nabar, iltiqa sakinain, on and on, all these different videos we've done. You're like, God, there's more. Yeah, there's more. So inshallah, we will get through these, and it's really super exciting to me. Like, oh my God, there's more rules. Like, really, I didn't know all this stuff. It's kind of like getting into like a science of understanding of what's happening to the words and how we really pronounce it. So mashallah, after years and years of like, you know, reciting Qur'an and mimicking the some of the famous reciters like Abdul Basit who's always been my personal favorite. I feel like I'm now actually learning the science of the Qur'an, and that's really exciting. So here's again the notes. I still don't have my Sharpie, my Expo marker, since I am still packed and in the process of moving. But here we go. Alaqaat Al Huroof. Now, the first one we're going to learn is harfan Mutamathilaan. So we're talking about 2 letters here, when 2 letters meet, right? Just like we talked about iltiqa sakina, this is Alaqaat Al Huroof. So when 2 letters are meeting, so what are the 4 different cases you could have, right? So the one case that we can have is where the letters are the same exact letter, okay? And we call that al-harfan al-mutamathilaan. They are the same letter. And, whoa, okay. Luna just climbed up a shelf and then fell. She's all right. She landed as cats do, on her feet, I believe. So she's okay, but there you have it, some entertainment in the background. Harfan al-mutamathilaan is basically, you can think of them as identical twins. You're talking about 2 letters that have the same makhraj and they have the same sifat. Now, if you have the same makhraj and you have the same sifat, then you are the same letter, right? So they are identical letters, the 2 of them. And so when we have the first one with a sukoon and the second one with a vowel, according to Hafs and Asim and Tariqa Shatibiyya, that's the cases that we're going to be looking at. The others don't apply. You're only looking at the cases where the first letter is sukoon, the second one has a haraka, a vowel. And so in that situation, you will have basically 2 letters that are the same going back to back, first with sukoon, second with a haraka. And what will you do in that situation? You are going to use the rule of idgham in that situation. So, for example, the words would be waqad dakhalu. Alright? So you have these 2 words, this dal and this dal. When you're reciting it back to back, you have to say waqad dakhalu. You're going to pronounce it as if you are putting a shadda on the second dal. وَقَدْ دَخَلُوا, right? And similarly, another example would be in the word, this is in one word now, يُدْرِكْكُمْ, right? And we know that Qutub Jad letters. We know what qalqala letters are, right? Qutub Jad. So for example, the dal is a qalqala letter. Qa, ta, ba, da, ja, da, right? But you're not going to say yudrikkum. You're not going to say that. You are going to use Alaqaat Al Huroof, Al Huroof Al Mutamathilaan rule, which says that in this case you must use idgham. So you're going to say yudrikkum. In this case we were joining the dal. In this one we're joining the two caps, which are together, right? So this is waqad dakhalu, waqad dakhalu. Use a shadda to show the idgham. And here yudrikkum. You're not going to say yudrikkum. No, you're going to say yudrikkum, yudrikkum. Your tongue never leaves the makhraj point. It stresses on it. Okay, yudrik, not yudrikkum. It'll be yudrikkum, yudrikkum. So waqad dakhalu. Say it after me. Waqad dakhalu yud. This one you'll still have a qalqala here. You'll lose the qalqala in this one because you're joining and doing idgham. Here you'll still have qalqala. Yudrikkum, yudrikkum, yudrikkum. Alright. So those are the examples of al-harfan al-mutamathilan. The second rule for when letters meet is if they are from the same makhraj but different sifat. And we know a lot of different letters come from the same makhraj point, but they have different sifat, right? For example, we know that from the deepest part of the throat, aqsa al-halq, we have hamza and ha. So those are two different letters and they're both coming from the same point. But it's how we pronounce them, right? Do they have shidda? Do they have rakhawa? Do they have tawassut? Do they have hams? Do they have jahr? So all of these rules come into play. So when you have two letters like that come back to back and they have the same makhraj but they have different sifat, then you have al-hurfan al-mutajanisaan. Now, same thing. First one has to be with sukoon. Second one is a letter with a haraka, mutaharrik letter. And there are 7 different scenarios, possibly 8. The 8th is debatable, but there are 7 different scenarios that fall into the category of al-hurfan al-mutajanisaan. Does it cover every single letters that are coming from the same makhraj point and have different sifat? No, it's just these 7, possibly 8. The 8th is debatable because it could be put into this category with hurfan and mutajanisaan, or it could be in a different category that we will learn later, and that is qaf kaf. So we're kind of, it could be in this category, it could be in a different one. So the first example is dal and ta. For example, in the word mahadtu, mahadtu. And with all of these, we're going to use idgham. So basically, if it's not one on this list and you see letters that are from the same makhraj and different sifat, you're going to just use the general rule of idhar, right? You're going to use idhar. But if it is one from these list of 7, then you're going to have to use idgham because that is the rule of al-hurfan and mutajanisaan. So if you see a dal followed by a ta, then you are going to use idgham kamil. Wa mahadtu, wa mahadtu. It's almost like the dal is disappearing in the merge. You're just saying wa mahadtu. The reason is you're going for the same makhraj point, right? Because a makhraj is the same. So you are hitting the same makhraj point, but when you are reciting it, you are going to have all the sifat of the ta coming out. So wa mahadtu, right? There's no wa mahadtu, right? You can see the whole qalqala sifa goes away, and you're just hitting the makhraj point ومهدت, and you're reciting it with idgham kamil. Same in the case of ta and da, the flipped reverse of it. An example would be أثقل الدعو, أثقل الدعو, أثقل الدعو. See how it's almost like the ta is just disappearing. Another example with the ta and the ta. فآمن الطائفة, فآمن الطائفة. See, I'm doing the itbaq for the ta. فآمن الطائفة. So it's a merging of the ta and the ta, where you are hearing the makhraj point hit for the ta and the ta, but then you're hearing the sifat of the ta coming out. Then there's the vice versa, the ta and the ta. I don't have an example for it, but that would be the only case where you have an idgham nakis, not an idgham kamil. And I will try and see, inshallah, in the next video, if I can come up with an example. I will share that with you. The fifth case is the and dha. The and dha. إذ ظلمتم, إذ ظلمتم, إذ ظلمتم. So you're hitting the makhraj point. إذ ظلمتم, and then you're going straight into itbaq mode again for إذ ظلمتم idgham kamil. Then you have tha and the. You have يلهث ذلك, يلهث ذلك, يلهث ذلك. In all of these cases for idgham, you are never letting go of the makhraj, you are just keeping it right where it needs to continue on. So you're not going to say يلهث ذلك. The tongue isn't going to take a break, it's just going to go يلهث ذا, يلهث ذلك, يلهث ذلك, يلهث ذلك, يلهث ذلك. Making sure that the shadda sound on the dha is reflecting the fact that there is an idgham happening with a tha before it. يلهث ذلك, يلهث ذلك. Then ba and mim. أركب معنا, أركب معنا, أركب معنا, أركب معنا, أركب معنا. Okay, you're not going to say أركب معنا, you're going to just say أركب معنا.